Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies. Let's all go to the movies and see what we can learn. The Legend of Billie Jean, released in 1985, rated PG-13, 1 hour and 36 minutes. Director Matthew Robbins, writer Mark Rosenthal and Lawrence Connor. Starring Helen Slater as Billie Jean, Christian Slater as Binks, Yeardley Smith as Putter, Martha Gaiman as Ophelia, Dean Stockwell as the rich guy's dad. Cop was played by Peter Coyote. IMDb description: a Texas teenager cuts her hair short and becomes an outlaw martyr with her brother and friends. It's definitely one of those descriptions that is not incorrect, but doesn't really say much about the movies. I don't know, it's weird.
3, 2, 1, action!
I actually really kind of miss the TriStar Pegasus. Back in the day when you had to go to the store to choose out a movie to rent, I would always choose Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but the second one was always up for grabs. The Legend of Billie Jean, I got because the cover looked cool, and I ended up watching it that night with my family, and then watching it again, and again, and again. Sun came up. It's one of the first movies that really made me fascinated with film and what film could do. This movie is set in Corpus Christi, Texas. It's an interesting one to look back on because what is cool is not cool anymore, and what is weird is not weird anymore.
Hello, who's this? Okay, Eleanor, you're on the air. Tell it to the
Classic display of toxic masculinity, of men howling and hooting at a woman as she's on a scooter driving down the highway, but they're feeling the need to chase and harass her. The basic setting is Helen Slater and Christian Slater, not related, are teens living in Texas. They live in a trailer park. They're being harassed by the quintessential bully who has a nice car and has his stupid-ass friends.
Hey, thanks. How about a piece of tail? Tastes good. Get your hand off that. Off what? Your sister or your f***ing mobile? Check it out first.
Why, I'm hot.
The alligators.
Well, I can handle alligators.
Bullies are just intent on victimizing. That is the whole point. As they walk up to the scooter, they caress it delicately. But then, as soon as they get the attention of the two people that they're there to harass, they're making noise and whooping and hollering and everything. And this is the point at which it goes from being, silly bullies, whatever, to they actually steal the motorcycle. Now, as Billie Jean is getting out of the water, one of the people that is in the group harassing them is snapping pictures. And those are, in a lot of ways, those are the first viral selfie, well, not selfie, but those are the very, very major precursor to what we see now as being this all-invasive, all-revealing social media. Back then, didn't have it, didn't even have the internet, didn't have cell phones. So my camera's decided to die again. Put in a brand new battery and it's sucked the life out of it. So either I have a ghost or I don't know. So at home that night, Billie Jean knows that Binks is going to do something stupid, which is why Binks is there, to do stupid shit. Billie Jean decides she really needs to do something before Binks does some stupid shit.
You get in trouble? What did he do? Can I come, Billie Jean? I love police station.
She does the right thing. She reports the theft, but you know, boys will be boys. By the time she gets home, Binks has done something stupid.
Oh, Binks!
The next day, she brings an estimate for the repairs of the scooter and proceeds to knee Hubie in the balls, because I believe that was the main go-to in the 80s in general. So Dad comes in, tells Dad's even worse than him just within 3 seconds, because he just is slimy. He has the slimy mustache and the slimy personality. And here is the point at which the father makes as though he is going to rectify the situation in an honorable manner. You know that there's something behind that smile and that awful, awful porn stash. And in order to get the cash, she apparently needs to follow him into the back room. And just like every predator, he makes her feel stupid for feeling uncomfortable with that situation. Ugh, creepy. He's so gross. And touches her face and cheeks, and oh, he's just a creeper. So he specifically pulls out a huge wad of cash and then throws down $50 like he's doing her a favor. He's very clearly saying no. He is smiling and holding her against her will, and sexually assaults her. Her brother and friend come in because they are waiting for her and they figured that she'd left, so Binks, being the idiot that he is, opens the cash register and discovers the gun.
Let go of my sister.
You put that gun down, boy.
Did you get the money?
And the gaslighting is about to begin.
Sylvie, call the police.
Huh?
They come here to rob a store. Your little girlfriend suckered me upstairs so her pals could empty the register.
That's a lie. Let go of me.
He's got the gun, Dad.
You'd be such
So
an
wax.
absolute piece
It's
of work.
not even loaded. Think I keep a loaded gun in the cash register?
It's empty.
And we can now see that Chekhov was right. You don't bring a gun on stage unless you plan to fire it.
Don't you touch him!
That scene is one of those classic situations where it's the dumb kids from the trailer park and they were obviously robbing him. Though we saw the situation, although it wasn't cool to shoot someone and run off, like, yeah, that's understandable. So what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Believing he's dead, they do what seems correct to them, and they run away. And back to the cop story, he's about to learn he really fucked things up.
Goddamn. I think I blew this one. Your name wouldn't be Hubie, would it?
Yes, sir, that's me, Hubie Pyatt.
Let's talk about motor scooters.
You hold it, you idiot. I'm not in the car.
Good morning, Corpus Christi. And who's on line one? This is Al. What are they going to do about these kids that walk in the store and gun a man down? We're going to put them where they belong, Al. You don't have to worry about that.
Why don't we go to Vermont? You'll never find us there.
We don't have enough gas to get out of Corpus.
Then we'll steal it. We're outlaws, right?
No stealing. We may be outlaws, but we're not crooks.
We may be outlaws, but we're not crooks. That's a good one. They are on the run and needing food. Putter is wanting a lot of junk food and everything, but as they're discussing that, they realize that there are two young teenagers staring at them. They try to walk away, and this is the first time that they are recognized. Her high school picture was published in the paper, and so they know her face. This is the first indication of her eventual radicalization. Rather than turning them in, they pay for all their groceries. And then as they start to leave, she asks for her autograph. The first foreshadowing of the random fame she will find through the course of the movie.
You know, my dad says you're gonna end up dead.
The victim was taken to Shoreline Hospital where his condition was listed as good. Did you hear that? Good, not fair. Not critical.
Not dead.
And so that turn of celebrity and potential death causes her to then communicate with her mother, and in turn the police detective who had not taken her seriously when she originally reported the
I'll meet
incident.
you noon tomorrow at Ocean Park Mall, near the fountain.
That's great. I'll make all the arrangements.
And that's all we want. Fair is fair.
And you want me to pay for it? I'm not paying a goddamn red cent to those little bastards. I lost 2
He was shot, but he is okay. It was just a flesh wound.
Why?
He starts to also realize the celebrity potential of this incident, but his response to it is to sell off a picture of Billie Jean to the highest bidder and then indicate to the people who did not get the picture that there was lots more coming soon. And though confronted by the cop for being a complete sleazy scumbag, he's like, well, I'm gonna make money off of it. So of course that is the point at which the cop really understands what the scenario is.
Half price.
Besides, we have a plan, don't we?
Within this, they're still behaving like kids. It's presented very much as a caper rather than what it really is, of a young woman who has been attacked, but because of circumstances is considered the villain. This could go smoothly and everyone would be safe. Binks gets a toy gun that is going to pop up at a couple other spots. The cop does not trust Mr. Pyle. The mall, which is perfect that it's set at a mall because that's so 80s and perfect for the whole monetization that happens of this woman's trauma. But she gets away in a pretty epic elevator escape, and everybody's chasing after them. I mean, it's essentially the cops are chasing them and they throw out marbles and the cops fall. I mean, that's not literally what happens, but that's basically how they sort of present it still at this point as a caper. Oh my god, I was joking about the marbles, but they're literally our marbles. I forgot there's literally marbles. Okay. So now there's a bunch of guys walking around who got kicked in the nads, so they can't walk. So
I think it's gonna hurt you.
they've gotten away, and the whole thing has gotten much, much more complicated now.
Well, these men were chasing a girl right over here, and then all of a sudden, she splashed.
The media frenzy also starts, and her legend starts to grow.
She's a rebel, you know, and I don't know, personally, I think they're picking on her because she's a girl, and I think that's disgusting.
Well, there you have a woman's perspective.
Not only was this a very public activity, it also was a well-documented one.
It's hilarious. Billie Jean, wherever you are, I love you.
The two sidekick friends are going out to get groceries, and as they're walking back, they see a news report. They're kind of like, whoa, it's Billie Jean, oh my god. And then all of a sudden, Putter's face comes on, and they realize that they are all wanted criminals.
Freeze!
Like, Binks really isn't taking it seriously, but he's sort of the jester of the whole thing. He's sort of the id of the whole situation.
I had to drop on him.
Freeze your butt! That guy was a policeman. This gun was real and killed you. Hey, stop the
Being
car.
teenagers, they cruise a rich neighborhood, and they find an empty house and eat the chocolate cake out of the fridge. It's an interesting part of the movie because it is almost framed into a horror movie for a little bit. It starts with these black and white security screens of somebody watching them moving around in this house that they've broken into, and you see just the glimmer of like a clawed, furry hand. I do remember being absolutely freaked out at this part as a kid, and suddenly we see a monster walking down the hallway behind her, which is just terrifying and horrified me as a child. Possibly the first horror movie-ish things I had seen ever, and to this day it's just the best part because it's so completely random. The entire tone of the movie just switches for a couple minutes to introduce this new character. Once again, though it's presented very differently, the potential of Billie Jean being attacked, and she just acts and she pummels a guy with a guitar, and it turns out to be just some dude, and he's like, "What'd you do that for?" The way that they show her strength
What'd you do that for?
very small ways that don't negate her fear, don't negate her diminutive size and weakness of body and insecurity in self. She has a strength in her that just comes through in so many different scenes. It's interesting to have a female character who is strong. You can tell she's freaked out, but she never gets broken.
Want to be a star?
You're weird.
You're Billie Jean.
Hey, Billie Jean! Billie Jean, the TV world.
They're on TV.
Holy shit.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. It was personal with me. I decided to take personal action. I got a teenager myself, and no one has to tell me what this younger generation's all about. But these kids are playing games with the law.
The gang headed north from here in a late model sedan.
Their legend is growing above and beyond what they've even done at this point.
Community of Juliet. The victim who was held at gunpoint.
I love it. We're everywhere.
While they're watching the news and listening to people accuse them of things that they didn't do, they switch the channel and randomly it is Joan of Arc.
Is that a boy or a girl?
Modern audiences might not realize, but in the 80s, gender norms were very, very strict and very ingrained. So the idea of seeing someone that you didn't understand their sexuality or their gender or whatever was really disconcerting.
Stop being a peasant. Be a soldier. France needs you. Truth. Justice. And she won. She beat the English. And then
what?
the French burned her alive.
As they decide to go swim in the pool, and Billie Jean continues to watch the movie of Joan of Arc. Billie Jean found strength in this idea of martyrdom, the idea of what had caused all of the problems, potentially as, you know, she could see it or as other people could see it, was her sexuality. She really seemed interested and intrigued by this idea of a person being committed to something and being passionate about something. And somehow the short hair and the androgyny of that really struck a chord in her. After watching the movie, she went down to be sure that Lloyd could make a video and could make copies and everything.
She's nervous, so she has to pee.
And then she goes upstairs and cuts all of her hair off, which to me as a child felt incredibly life-changing. Establishing one's own power by de-emphasizing gender role. What in a lot of people's eyes would be lessening her attractiveness by cutting this beautiful long hair into this shortcut. At the same time, she's negating or ambiguifying, androgenifying, oh my god, words. She's both emphasizing her femininity while making an incredible statement about androgyny or ambiguity. She sits down and so sweet. It's so sweet and totally makes me cry every time.
Turn the camera on.
The way that they distribute this video is weird at best. Again, there are no cell phones. There might be cell phones at this point, but they're not common. There is no internet, or if there is, it's like between two guys at MIT or some shit. The way to set the record straight is to make a video and make it go viral. Well, how do you make a video go viral when there is no internet?
So they sent their video to television stations.
And there's just an adorable little red-headed stepchild. Little boy brings the video in as they're asking him, like, oh, you know, who's this from? God, he's such a cute kid. The video is actually being broadcast on a news station.
Now let's have a look at that tape delivered here earlier today.
I'm Billie Jean Davy, and I want to set the record straight.
And I'm starting to cry again. She's on her makeup is just gonna be toast.
I'm not a liar, I'm not a thief, and neither is my brother. Hello,
They
Mom.
are able
Sorry, that's
to
him.
successfully
Mom,
turn it from
don't know when
running
you're coming home, but we love
to
you.
putting their voices
I know
out there
people are
to say,
making up
no,
stories
we
about
have
us.
to set the record straight.
Don't
Fair
you
is
believe
fair. The speech she gives is sweet and it's funny and it's not incredibly profound in any way, but it is genuine and it is meant and it is, I mean, I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but goddamn, this movie makes me cry. Which is why I did a little crying goat dragon for my makeup today. And she calls out Mr. Pyle for being a sleazy sack of shit. No lying, no cheating, fair's fair. And you also see that it's being broadcast in the mall, at people's houses, and people are cheering. She officially turns into a folk hero. It's more than the bike at this point. It is now about what's right and what's fair.
Hey, wait up. Tapes are not going to be enough.
What do you mean?
I mean, they still don't have to give you the money.
What kind of trade?
I'm going to be your hostage.
Now wait, what are you talking about?
See, then they have to negotiate with you. I'm your guarantee.
It turns out that Floyd is the son of not just a rich dude, but a rich, politically connected dude. Of course, he's just gonna fuck everything up.
The district attorney's here.
Just like kids making one stupid choice after another stupid choice while trying to make all the good choices. That's pretty much the entire extent of the movie. It's like good people trying to do good things and not always doing it well, and bad people doing bad things and doing it incredibly well. But of course, the sleazy, politically driven dad is, of course, the first person to point out the fact that they are, in fact, harnessing media to their benefit, and that they are very savvy in the way that they're doing it.
These kids are smart. They got the wire services interested. They got the networks interested. Got to give them a lot of credit.
Hey, listen to this.
Listen, Billie Jean, come on down to C101 in beautiful Corpus Christi and collect yourself a brand new Yamaha.
Even the radio host that originally was against them is now on their side.
Fair is fair.
Did you hear that?
Yamaha, are you serious?
It's gone from being serious to being a joke again in some ways, because they've kidnapped this guy, but it's all fake. It's all this crazy little world that the five of them live in outside of everything else that's going
Your
on.
father says please give him his pills.
No negotiations.
He never negotiates.
He's worried about you.
Hey, you're getting too famous. I'll buy you a wig.
And now we have that garbage pile of a human being totally cashing in. This is obviously back in the day. I mean, this in a lot of ways, this movie feels like it's from the 70s, because like no one has two fucks to rub together, and the stunt drivers do not seem to care about safety at all. So, but yeah, he has custom shirts, custom hats, everything possible to cash in on it, and everybody's buying. So a lot of the movie is about the public persona around tragedy and how that plays out in a situation where the good guy's the bad guy, the bad guy's the good guy, and nobody can figure it out because it's just gotten more and more and more and more complicated.
Lieutenant, I want roadblocks, helicopters, and additional men assigned.
Amen.
If it's not a real kidnapping, we don't know that. I do. For sure.
And this is the scene, like, I give up. I'm just gonna be crying through the whole damn thing, because this is the point at which, as a kid, this movie meant so much to me. Billie Jean is sitting in a car, and some kids come up and ask,
Are you Billie Jean? You got it, bud. Someone's gotta help Kenny. He's in a lot of trouble.
the 3 kids come in and ask for her to help their friend. And this is the one time that she's being recognized and it feels okay. It feels like it's a good thing. It feels like something powerful is happening. And though she looks a little concerned by this whole group of kids that are following her, she's willing to do it to save this kid. So she walks up to the house and you can hear what's going on inside. And there's this whole group of kids, and then there's Billie Jean. And she looks scared, and she looks nervous, and she looks back at Putter, and Putter just smiles. Billie Jean walks up and goes into the building and finds this little boy curled up near the door, just terrified, just terrified. It's not that she goes in and takes down the bad guy and beats him up, and it's not even that she goes in and tells him to stop or, anything like that. She tries to get the little boy to come out with her. Dad is sweaty and holding a belt and very aggressively walking towards her. He does not believe her until he sees at every window there are kids staring in at him. So it's not necessarily anything that she did other than just being willing to try.
Jesus Christ, you are. Is that your gang or what? Don't bring him in here. I don't want any trouble.
The mythos around her name at this point is all she needs to be able to do good. So the dad immediately becomes just another douchey dude who's like, you want a soda?
Kenny's gonna be spending some time at his grandma's.
They're kind of doing a little photo session, signing casts and everything with the neighborhood kids. Big old Bubba in a truck drives by, and his wife or girlfriend, whatever, is like, realizes that it's Billie Jean. And his immediate motivation is there's reward money. So he starts to shoot at her, and it goes back to being sort of a caper again after this really emotional moment. And you realize that not only is she able to do good just by being, you realize that people are willing to do bad for money. It doesn't matter to them what she did or what she didn't do. They're just gonna shoot gun at her. They're just smart as they decided to have the girlfriend totally pissed off at Bubba chasing her in the big truck, but there's only so much she can do when he's, being the man and pushing her away so he can chase after these kids who were, just saved a little boy. They get the truck flipped because, he's driving like a complete asshole, but he did manage to shoot their tire out, so they're just driving away on rubber, metal, and a prayer. They think that Putter is shot, and they realize that she, in fact, started her period, which, of course, Binks thinks is gross. Billie Jean says it's wonderful. And that seemed really, when I watched it the first part, I had no idea. That was one of those that just went over my head, because, 5th grade or whatever, what's a period? I don't know. Hadn't had that one class that they told you what happened. Within the context of the movie, the fact that that was the point at which, in modern context, that's the point at which she becomes a woman. Billie Jean helped her get cleaned up and is helping her dry off and everything. And something about the look on Putter's face, she is just beautiful in that shot and so happy in that shot. And she's a woman in that shot in a lot of ways. What it means to be a woman, what it means to be getting older, how sexuality functions within the context of just trying to grow up and just trying to live your life. This is also the point at which Billie Jean realizes that she just got shot at, and she decides that it's time for Ophelia and Putter to not be a part of this anymore. She feels her fate is sealed. She feels her brother's fate is sealed. They have to be on the run. They have to stay away. But Putter and Ophelia potentially have regular lives that they could lead. So the next shot is the cops driving up to Putter and Ophelia asleep in the back of the vehicle. As the cop walks up, he looks at them almost with relief that they are safe-ish. He immediately turns into asshole cop mode, which it's interesting to see that transition between what he's actually feeling and what he feels he needs to present.
Watch your hands. You surprised? You know how I found you? Billie Jean called me.
Lies, she wouldn't do that.
She did it. Now you tell me where she is. Where is she?
Everywhere. And that is as much a fuck off to the cop as a sort of her ideas are getting everywhere. It's bigger than just her. It's more than just this young girl who's on the run with her brother. They try to steal a car, but because of an argument, they don't really realize it's happening, and so they end up all running in different directions. Then they all get split up. And this is the point at which you realize that her position as a folk hero has really begun, because it just has her running down the street, and then at a certain point you realize that there is a car slowing down next to her, and it feels like that, oh fuck, it's like another one of the people with the big truck or whatever, and she's looking back and you can tell she's not quite sure if she should like run away.
Get in! Well, quick! Get in! What are you waiting for?
We're back with Putter and Ophelia in the police station.
Lieutenant, we've got her. Billie Jean.
And so of course they're freaked out, but they go in and there's just bunch of young women, blondes, brunettes, and they all have the short haircut. And you can tell they're running distraction for her. And so Putter looks at all of them, realizing none of them are in fact Billie Jean.
They all say they're Billie Jean.
Call their parents, send them home.
Putter Jacks!
When her abusive mother comes in, she grabs some scissors and first brandishes them as though she is going to attack her mom, but in fact takes that moment to cut her own hair off. This is the final step of her. She doesn't see herself as a child anymore. She doesn't see herself as the victim anymore. She doesn't see herself as powerless. And if the only power you have is cutting off your hair, then you're going to take that power and cut off your hair. In actuality, Yearling Smith would not cut her hair. She had absolutely no interest in cutting her hair. So when she's cutting it, it's fake hair, and then when she has the short haircut, it's actually a wig, which is good because Jesus, that her hair looks awful with the wig after it's cut because it's just styled really, really weirdly. But it's because it's a wig and it's hard to style wigs. We now have the montage of her being just shuttled from place to place to place, and you don't really know where she's going or what's happening, but there are roadblocks and car searches and symptom or sensation and bumper stickers.
Bridget, you want to go to Mexico? Oh, no, I can't. But they can't touch you down there. I have to find my brother.
Now you know, she's not going to go to Mexico, she's not going to flee, she needs to find Binks. So she's going to head back to where she hopes he went to. And there just feels like there's this now whole underground movement, especially when she's led into this underground warehouse area. And this song, oh my god, this song, I love this song. And of course, she goes back to the putt-putt golf course, which is where they went the first night that they were on the run. And through the rain, and through the thunder, and through it all. Most importantly, she finds her brother. That's the big relationship of the whole movie. She not only finds Binks, but she finds Lloyd, I think it's Lloyd, as well. And so the three of them are back together. So the cop, while going through the vehicle, found putt-putt golf balls from the particular putt-putt golf place that they were hiding in, and actually goes there and yells out to them saying that we need to end this. We need to make this all... Oh, excuse me. Woo! And so they make the deal to trade their hostage for the bike and everything. The plan is made that they are going to make the trade at this particular beach. It's a big old party. There's tons of people there. Hubie and his dad are there with their big old rack of exploitation and greed.
Judge, if you're within the sound of my face, I want to talk to you.
It's the whole movie is just like, it gets a little, you think it's gonna get better, and then it just gets so much worse, and then it gets a little better, and then it gets so much worse. And this final scene is definitely that. You know, there's this whole party going on and all these drunk people, and it looks like a party, and then there are snipers. So, oh god, frisbees with Billie Jean on it. So yeah, one thing that definitely dates this is the fact that there aren't people surfing. There are just a bunch of windsurfers. It was a windsurfing, the big sail. Yeah, don't see those as much anymore, but that's just everywhere here. Ophelia and Hutter both come and are greeted like heroes.
Thanks for the party.
It's not my idea, it's Billie Jean's. I hope to God she shows up.
Well, she gave her word.
I bet she's already here.
So far out. Here it goes.
Back in the day. Oh my god, the fashion in this is just amazing. It's just amazing. This was one of those movies that they dressed like they dressed at the time, and at the time they didn't think they were stylizing the clothes, but looking back on it, it's like the cops are stuck in the late 70s and half the people are in day-glow. End of the 70s, taking over the 80s aesthetic. The cop runs over to try to get the snipers to stand down. They could not give less of a shit as to what he has to say because they have spotted what they believe is Billie Jean with the hostage coming towards them on the beach, and everyone starts to scream and cheer. And the cop's just trying to keep them from getting shot. And Hubie, of course, is pushing his way to the front to do what he does best and fuck everything up and make everything 10 times worse than it really needed to be.
Shut up, Hubie. Your brother. He's wearing dress. It's a drag. Hey, you little. Just shut up, dork.
As the sun sets, she runs after, but can't get to him. She stops running, realizing that she's not going to reach him. Looks up and sees her face. Her face, her face, her face, over and over and over and over again. And she has, of course, reached the douchebag and his son's little stand where they are raking in cash using her face and her body and her reputation. And she's done. She's fucking done. Yeah, the look on her face, she's just done. She's just fucking done with his shit.
Billie Jean. You got no business with me. You're the one to blame.
And he immediately starts gaslighting and bullshitting and cock-waving, being an asshole. Gaslighting, douchebaggery.
Still want the money?
Of course, it turns out that he did not pay for the scooter, that the rich dad of Lloyd paid for it.
You pig.
And she calls his shit out.
You don't even know what a pig you are. For my trouble, or to keep my mouth shut, or maybe for a few minutes in your room upstairs, how much is that worth to you, Mr. Pyatt? Tell us! Everyone's listening.
Nobody forced you up there. You knew damn well what you were doing. You lying piece of trash.
And you said I was gonna love it. Love being touched by a man like you.
And we have the book in nutshot that really brings everything around in a circle, because at this point QB realizes his dad's an asshole and he's done with him as well, so he kind of sneaks off like the little bitch that he is. But Billie Jean doesn't want his fucking money, so she throws it at him as his tiki torches start to light all of the posters and t-shirts and the hay and the wood and everything that's building his little shop. And as he yells for help and calls for his son and tries to get people to help him save his shit, and as he grabs bills off of the ground, yells at her one more time, and she just looks at him with the biggest like fuck you that she did not need to say, because it is all in her eyes as she looks at him all sideways while he just yells and whines and tries to get help. And everyone just sort of realizes what he is and what the situation is, and that he's a monster and that he was set up to be the victim of it, but he was in fact the bad guy. He was the bad element to this. And then as Billie Jean looks up at her own representation burning, which is a callback to watching Joan of Arc earlier, Lloyd steps up and grabs one of the posters that she had ripped in half, picks it up and throws it into the fire. And then members of the crowd start to take off their t-shirts and their bandanas and all of the Billie Jean crap that they had bought. They were trying to represent someone that they saw as a hero, but they were funding the bad guy. And this is kind of a weird ending for the point at which people just switch and realize this is over. This isn't what we thought it was. And the best we can do right now is to not play into the person who turned this whole situation into something so much worse than it needed to be. And his shack goes up in flames. With those flames, the legend of Billie Jean, the legend part of the Legend of Billie Jean is really capped off because of the fact that she said, no, we're done. And no matter how much he whined and bitched and complained, she decided, no, this is over. And it was over. Of course, there's some questionableness about how that would actually work out, considering the fact that she's wanted for stuff. We have the sweet happy ending where they're in Vermont and Binks is complaining that it's too cold. He sees a snowmobile. We have Binks, who really didn't change through the course of the movie. He has a lot of growing to do. Fallacy of her public persona is revealed to the world, and once that kind of thing is revealed, you're not able to just go back and put that gloss back on. The fire and the end turned into Billie Jean and Binks happily in Vermont going skiing, but it was the 80s and that's just how things worked out. So, well, that is the movie. I hope you enjoyed it. The Legend of Billie Jean. I'm not claiming it's a great movie. I'm not claiming it's necessarily a good movie. I am just saying that it is my favorite movie and it has a lot more layers than most movies tended to be. And every time I watch it, I see something new. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll go out and watch it. And I would suggest watching it. It's a fun little look into the past. I just really love it. I've always loved it and I always will love it.
so much for checking out my video. I hope you learned something. Have fun in the garden, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Kikipocalypse. Episode 30.